LeBron may not have the leverage to get Bryce into the NBA. And because I do think that was his plan. He may not have the leverage to keep Bronny in the NBA. And I know Bronny's got this contract, and if he sticks with the Lakers, maybe it's inevitable. But if LeBron ever has to really force his way out, that may be the end of
Uh,
Bronny's career. That's where LeBron has potentially miscalculated because his greed, his desire to play with his son may end up blowing up in his face. This has turned into a tragic
well,
soap opera moment.
well, I swear, my last airline analogy. Every airline says you get to bring on one carry-on. You don't really get two. Okay, you already got Bronny. You're gonna have to like pack that other thing and pay the $50. Good grief.
LeBron may have to pay for Bryce to play. But anyway, I don't know if he's got the leverage to get Bryce in. He may be forced into retirement or something really embarrassing.
Guys, he was asked on media day. LeBron was asked pointedly about if he's waiting around for Bryce, and there was like about a minute 90-second meandering response that he had, and it wasn't a denial. He was kind of making jokes. He said, I don't know if we're on the same time frame or not, but it was certainly not a strong denial that wasn't ultimately in the back of his head, and that is something that he is planning towards, is trying to play with both of his kids on one team.
We've got a comment from the Peanut Gallery. Justin has chimed in that Bryce James is better than Bronny, and he's 6'6" and still potentially growing. Scap, do you believe that to be true, that Bryce is a better NBA prospect than Bronny, which isn't saying much? You and Steve Kim might be better prospects, but go ahead.
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's apples and oranges, I think, Jason, and that it's like rotting apples to rotting oranges. It's like two fruits that are outside of their primes already that we're comparing with Bryce and Bronny. I'll say this though. Bryce certainly can't be any worse than Bronny has been as an NBA prospect or an NBA player for that matter. I'm sure we're going to get into that here in a moment, and we could talk about really just adding the context of how bad Bronny is. So at least like this commenter noted, though, Bryce at least 6'6", maybe going to hit 6'7", 6'8". I mean, Bronny was listed at 6'4" in his junior year of high school. When he gets into the NBA Combine, he measures in at 6'2". And by the way, they're measured in shoes. So how tall is Bronny really? Like 6 foot, 6'1"? It's just crazy that this guy's supposed to be a 3-and-D guy that's supposed to guard like 1 through 3, and he's a 6'1" kid.
Well, let's go ahead and get into Bronny James. Scap, I'll let you fire first. How bad is he?
Jason, he's not an NBA player. Last year, he was one of the worst players in the entire league. Just to put a bow on that, he was a minus 7.2 in box plus minus, which ranked 679th out of 735 players that logged one single minute in the NBA last year. He was abysmal. And obviously, he shot 31% from the field last year. He hasn't gotten any better in the preseason. We see he's shooting 25% right now. Just last night, Jason, he logged 22 minutes and was a minus 24 in the 22 minutes that he played. The Lakers lost over a point per minute that he was on the court. Just absolutely breathtaking in scope of how bad he's been as an NBA player. Yet he's a consistent NBA player. He's dressing for all of these games. He's making $2 million a year. It is absolutely laughable to see this unfold.
Paul, Paul, former high school coach, this is your area of expertise. How bad is Bronny James? Oh, I can't hear Paul. Can y'all hear Paul? I can't.
No.
I can't hear
All
Paul.
right, Paul, we're gonna have to punt. We got too many technical difficulties. Steve, Bronny James, worse than Arch Manning?
No.
No.
I'm gonna look. You know me. I've been a critic of Arch, but I've really been a critic.
Come on, Steve.
Of those. Well, hold on, Scout. I have been a critic of those who call them a top 5 player, the number 1 pick in next year's draft, and a Heisman frontrunner at the beginning of the year. Now, has he been good? No. But in the Oklahoma game, specifically in the second half, I actually saw some progress. Made some throws, extended drives, played winning football. Now, basically, the Texas defense was the driver of that victory, but Arch did his part. Now, I believe, based on the way Arch has played, he's not coming out for the draft. He's not ready for it. But do I believe that right now he is better than a guy that scored or averaged 4 points a game on a non-tournament USC team? I mean, that USC team didn't exactly have Harold Miner, Lorenzo Orr, and Dwayne Cooper. I mean, that was a bad USC or a mediocre Trojan basketball team. So if you want to compare the two, I actually believe that Arch Manning is curving or at least arcing towards a better college career than Bronny James.
Well, hell, I had a better college career than Bronny James, and I played at Ball State.
Well, you
Go
played.
ahead, Scap.
That's the thing. You played.
It's not even necessarily it's undeniable Arch is going to be better in college. I know we're talking about Shedeur as well. I'm not a big Shedeur fan. I don't think he's going to be a hit in the NFL, but I mean, he did finish 8th in the Heisman voting. He had like 4,100 yards and 37 touchdowns last year. So it's undeniable all three of these guys, Shedeur and Arch and Bronny, they've all gotten opportunities and they've all had incredible benefits from who their fathers are. So they've all gotten undeserving chances, I think would be fair to say. But the other two, Shedeur and Arch, are undeniable better prospects and have a better opportunity at the next level, in my estimation, than Bronny. As Steve mentioned, Bronny was the eighth leading scorer on his USC team that didn't even qualify for the NCAA tournament. They were under 500, and he was the 8th leading scorer, and now he's logging substantial minutes at the NBA level. It's unbelievable to see.
Let me play devil's advocate here for a moment. I'm not sure if I believe this, but I'm going to play devil's advocate. What LeBron James, if he were watching this, he'd say is like, you think if I were the head coach of the USC basketball team, Bronny would have been the 8th leading scorer, or would he have been the 2nd leading scorer? And he would say, Shedeur Sanders got the benefit of playing for his daddy. And so, maybe, again, I'm just mostly playing devil's advocate here, but if Bronny had got to play for LeBron as coach, maybe he'd have a case against Shedeur.
All right, hold on. Are you getting checks now from Clutch? So that right there, Jason, that's a very suspect. You may have to do a video on that, Scap.